Namaskar. Welcome to the session on Technology of Cereal. Technology of Rice, Part 1. Introduction. Rice is a monocotyledon cereal and belongs to the family of grass. Botanical name of rice is Oryza sativa, L. Oryza glaberrima is another species grown to a limited extent in Africa. Globally, the paddy production is around 720 million tons and in India produces around 150 metric tons as on 2014. Oryza sativa is classified into two subspecies, namely Indica and Japonica, and another species is Javonica. Indica rices are grown all over the tropics, that is South and Southeast Asia. They are photosensitive. Indica rice yields low, they are long, thin and narrow. They cook to a non-sticky form which is liked by Indians, Sri Lankans and Pakistanis. Japonica types are grown in subtropical and temperate regions such as Japan, Korea, northern China, Egypt, Italy and Spain. The yield is high, they are photo-insensitive and hence are not season bound. Javonica or Bulu is an intermediate type. These are adopted to the climate near the equator, that is Indonesia. The following diagram indicates different parts of rice grain. Rice may be a single name, but all rices do not look, cook or taste similarly. There are thousands of varieties of rice. Rice has been grown in the world for centuries. It is being grown in all 5 continents from sea level to 5,000 feet above the sea level in dry and wet climate, in cold and hot weather. With such diversity in time, space and climate, it is natural that rice varieties differ greatly in size, shape, color, smell, milling, cooking, taste, nutritive value and their ability to make different rice products. Rice is also processed. It is stored, dried, milled, parboiled or treated. This affects the properties of rice. These properties of rice varies based on differences in variety or processing or the quality of rice. The various aspects of rice and its technology is covered in detail under the following heads. Physico-chemical properties of rice, milling quality, nutritional quality, size and shape, physical properties important in handling and processing of rice, cooking quality, eating quality, effect of degrees of polishing or milling, and grading for marketing. Milling of rice, parboiling of rice, byproducts of rice milling, nutritional significance of rice byproducts and finally the conclusion. Now first coming to milling quality. This means how much milled rice is obtained when a given amount of paddy is shelled and milled. It is considered that 1 part of paddy will yield about 2/3 parts of milled rice, that is 66.7 kg of rice from 100 kg of paddy. In reality, the outturn varies. Better the actual outturn, better will be the milling quality of the sample. Nowadays, laboratory machines are available which can accurately assess the milling quality of paddy, dehuskers, polishers and broken separators. Nutrition quality. Majority of people in the world depend on cereals for their main food. Among them, rice is most consumed cereal. Large population cannot afford other foods such as fruits and vegetables, milk and animal foods. As a result, rice has to supply not only energy they need, but also most of the nutrient requirements like proteins, vitamins and other nutrients. Nutritive value of rice is of great importance for the population of South, East and Southeast Asia. The nutritive value of rice is good. It contains protein rather low, that is 6 to 8% among all cereal grains, but quality of its protein is better than most of the other cereal grains. On a thumb rule, rice varieties with bigger and colored grains tend to have more protein, but not always. Type of shelling, milling and cooking play an important role. Less of polishing retains nutrients inside the grain. Another way to increase the nutrients is by parboiling the paddy. During this process, lot of nutrients, that is minerals, vitamins, get fixed to the inner kernel, which are not lost even when the grain is highly polished. Now next, coming to size and shape. Rice grains comes in various size and shapes. There are various varieties as low as 7 mg weight of each grain and a maximum of 30 to 35 mg per grain. The grain length and breadth or width greatly differ from variety to variety. The ratio of length and breadth gives an idea of roundness or slenderness of the variety. Ratio varies from 1.6, that is almost round, to 3.8, very narrow and slender. The following table gives the clarity. Range of some physical properties of paddy and milled rice. The first column is at the property, second is paddy and third milled rice. Length in millimeter 6.1 to 10.8, 4.0 to 7.7. Breadth again in millimeter 2.3 to 3.6, whereas for paddy 1.7 to 2.9. Length is to breadth ratio 2.0 to 4.1, 1.6 to 3.8. Grain weight in milligram 10 to 38, 7 to 28. Density in milligram per milliliter 1.17 to 1.24, 1.44 to 1.46. Bulk 550 to 650, 770 to 850. Density gram per liter. Bulk volume, that is liter per kg, 1.54 to 1.82, 1.18 to 1.30. Angle of repose in degrees 34 to 38, 37 to 38. Porosity, that is the empty space in grain mass, in percentage 45 to 55, 41 to 47. Different people like different type of size and shape of rice. Some like very long and slender rice like basmati, while some like very small and round grains, for example Pawnee or Samba rice of Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka. Sona Masuri from Karnataka. Japanese like round grains. Most rice varieties in India are rather long, that is greater than 6 millimeter, and rather slender length is to breadth ratio of 2.4 to 3. Rice is being classified as coarse, medium and fine on the basis of its length to breadth ratio alone. When the ratio is greater than 2, the rice is named as coarse, and if it is greater than 3, the rice is named as fine, and those between 2 and 3, they are named as medium. But this classification has some limits, as it considers only the shape but not the size, that is the grain weight. Next, coming to cooking quality. Rice eating quality. The main properties that determine the eating quality of a cooked rice are its stickiness and softness or hardness. Hardness and stickiness of the cooked rice differs from variety to variety. These properties depend on the properties of starch present in the rice. In milled rice, about 90% is starch. Amylose in rice starch varies from 0 to 35%. Higher amylose makes the grain to cook hard and separate grains or fluffy. Vice versa is the case with low amylose rice varieties where the grains are soft and sticky. Rice of India and of other South Asian countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan and Nepal, Malaysia and Thailand have high amylose. Rice of Japan, Korea, China, that is the East Asian countries, have low amylose rice, that is 15 to 25%. And these rice cook soft and sticky. Rice of Philippines and Indonesia of South Asia are intermediate in nature. Another type of rice which is of low amylose or high amylopectin are also named as waxy rice, which cooks pasty and appears like waxy, are named as waxy rice. Effect of degree of milling or polishing. The amount of bran removed from 100 grams of brown rice is termed as degree of milling. This terminology varies from place to place. In India, it is 3 to 8%, whereas in America, if the DOP goes up to 10 to 12%. This DOM is also an important criteria for the quality of rice. Protein, vitamins, minerals, fiber, sugars are located on the layers of the grain. Starch is less in outer layers but increases to the center. With progressive milling, the nutrients decreases. With 2 to 4% DOM, the grains could not be stored. For storage, the DOP of rice plays a role. With milling, the whiteness increases. Next is grading for the marketing. Market quality is expressed in terms of rice grades. Strict grading is practiced in developed countries like the United States of America, Europe, and rice exporting countries like Thailand. The important factors in rice grading are moisture content, percentage of broken grains, red grains, chalky grains, impurities, other seeds, etc. Limits of these factors are laid down for specific grades of rice. Milling of rice. The husk removal from the paddy is named as dehusking. The step where the removal of different layers of pericarp, testa, alurone and part of germ to get edible white rice or milled or polished rice is named as polishing or whiteness. Initially, hand pounding was practiced in some of the villages that is practiced even today. Generally, head rice yield will be less in hand pounding. Engelberg hullers. In this merchandised unit, it is designed to remove the husk and bran layers of rice in a single operation. In this bran, pulverized husk, milled rice are obtained along with high breakage. The capacity varies from 100 to 500 to 1000 kg per hour. The average milled rice is 50 to 60% of the weight of the paddy input. Scheme of milling. Machinery for milling are basically of two types, the skewl type and setai type. Of late, Buhler, Swiss and China type have also appeared in our country. Generally, in our country, the capacity of the rice mill will vary from 4 to 6 tons per hour or even 120 tons per hour, which is situated in Punjab. Different sized brokens. Small brokens, large broken rice, small broken rice. Parboiling of rice. Parboiling of rice is an ancient traditional process of India. Nearly 60% of paddy produced is parboiled in India, that is about 70 million tons of paddy. Hence, parboiling is a vast and important industry in India. Quality of rice produced in India differs depending on the method of production. Central Food Technological Research Institute of Mysore has improved the process of making parboiled rice in the country. Parboiling is nothing but partial boiling. The paddy is soaked, water drained, and the soaked paddy is cooked by steam or by hot air or by hot sand and then dried and milled. There are several methods of parboiling. Single boiling process. Here, the paddy is soaked in cold water for about 3 days. Afterwards, the CFTRI hot soaking process. This process was developed in order to avoid the bad smell which was existing in the process. In the present process, paddy is soaked in hot water at about 65 to 75 degrees Celsius. Microorganism action does not occur in hot water. Therefore, smell is completely avoided. Because of soaking the paddy at high temperature, the soaking time is reduced to 3 to 4 hours compared to the 72-hour in the previous method. Afterwards, the water is removed and the soaked paddy is steamed and then dried and milled as before. This is practically followed in number of industries. Color of parboiled rice. Milled parboiled rice generally brownish in color. This color depends on time, temperature of soaking, duration of steaming, etc. Longer the these, darker is the color and vice versa. If less color is required after steaming, tempering should be avoided. Even pressure of the steam plays a role in development of the color of the rice. If paddy is not soaked properly, white belly occurs in the final rice. Hence, sufficient soaking is to be carried out. Properties and advantages of parboiling. Parboiling changes various properties and also quality of rice. These change in properties are: reduces the breakage, it increases the vitamins and minerals in the rice, it increases the oil content in the bran, it affects the flow and packaging properties of the grain, and it changes the cooking and eating quality of rice. Aging of rice. Peculiar property of rice is that its cooking and eating quality depends on its age after harvest. Rice is grown once or twice in a year, but it is consumed throughout the year. Hence, it has to be stored and its age strongly affects the quality. New rice smells poorly during cooking and gives out a thick and sticky gruel. The cooked rice is very sticky and lumpy. These properties change slowly while storage. After few months of storage, the opposite properties occur and rice looks fluffy, grains elongate well, non-sticky, and the gruel will be thin and non-sticky. This phenomenon of change in cooking and eating properties of rice during its storage is called aging of rice. It has been noticed that aging becomes quicker when the storage temperature is high and slower when the temperature is low. This is the reason rice becomes old faster in summer and remains fresh and new for long time in winter. Byproducts of rice milling and their utilization. During milling of paddy, we get husk, bran, germ and broken rice as the main byproducts. If 100 kg brown rice is taken and 5% polish is given, we say that 5 kg of bran is obtained and 95 kg of milled rice is obtained. This milled rice contains head rice as well as broken rice. The broken rice will vary from 20 to 25% under ordinary conditions. There are cases where 50 to 60% broken rice will be available due to various reasons. Bran from raw rice will contain 13 to 15% oil and that from parboiled rice will contain 15 to 20% oil. The problem of rice bran oil from raw rice is it is unstable due to the presence of lipase enzyme which hydrolyze the fat and liberates free fatty acids. In the case of parboiled rice bran, there is no FFA as the enzymes are stabilized while parboiling. Nutritional significance of rice bran. Rice bran is a rich source of fiber, minerals, vitamin B and E, oryzanol, etc. These are known to minimize several diseases like heart attack, blood pressure, diabetics, colon cancer, obesity, etc. Brans of rice, oat, barley, wheat, etc. are good sources of dietary fiber. In Western countries, these brands are processed and incorporated in baked products. Efforts are on in our country to utilize rice bran for this purpose. Husk utilization. Husk content varies from variety to variety of paddy. On an average, approximately 20% husk can be considered. Around 22 to 25 million tons of husk is available in our country annually. Its fuel value is about half of coal and about 1/3 of mineral oil. Husk is largely used as a fuel. Furfural, chloroform, silica, sodium silicate, silica gel, insulated bricks and other derivatives form husk. Furfural is used in the manufacture of resins, corrosion-resistant pipes and for refining of lubricating oil. Brokens. Large and medium brokens go with bulk of the milled rice. Only fine brokens are collected separately in big mills and more often along with stones. Such brokens cannot be easily purified. However, if paddy is thoroughly cleaned and milled, pure fine broken can be obtained and can be used in preparing certain products like semolina, idli, dosa, deep fried products, flaked rice and in brewery. Rice germ. Very little portion of germ is present in rice. It is about 2% of the grain. In some of the places, it is used along with rice bran, but the germ separation is a laborious technique to be followed. Chemical composition of rice germ is fat 25 to 32%, protein 26% that is lysine rich, in vitro digestibility 84%, starch 5%, crude fiber 3%, sugars 12%, dietary fiber approximately 18%, vitamins, minerals, etc. Germ can be incorporated into bread, cakes, etc. at 10% level with favorable consumers' acceptance. Rice germ products, particularly rice germ oil, are available and highly regarded in Japan. Rice germ can provide a rich source of nutrients. Now finally coming to the conclusion. Rice is the principal staple cereal grain in the world. There are different types of rice which depends on their physico-chemical properties like amylose content, gelatinization temperature, equilibrium moisture content on soaking at room temperature. We have raw, cured as well as parboiled. Parboiling induces several changes in the properties of rice, especially oil content in bran increases, breakage decreases and hence head rice increases. Parboiled milled rice contains high amount of thiamine. There are different byproducts of rice before and after parboiling. In raw rice, byproducts are husk, bran, broken, germ and same in parboiled rice too, but with different properties. Mainly, husk is used as a fuel. It is also a source of silica content. Bran is mainly used for extraction of oil. The content is high in parboiled rice. Broken are also used for making rice flour and it is also used in the preparation of various products like idli, dosa, upma, pancakes, etc. Germ is a rich source of protein, vitamins and oil content. After brief processing, it can be used in the preparation of bakery products with judicious care. Thank you.